Hello, welcome to Game 6 of my match against JNails. I'm up 3-2, and this is the last one, so we'll see if I can get the win here. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. It's really quite complicated one. It's all VP in Island Cemetery, but kind of meaningless compared to Dominate. Like even Obelisk is like pretty so-so. You can grab some native villages, you can stash them or whatever. There's draw with Sheepdog. There's cost reduction with Highway. Highway does not play well with Dominate, certainly. And Obelisk, yeah, so just the Dominate is worth so many VP that unless you can get like a pile out with Highways, and the plus buy is difficult to get with Trade Route. It's pretty clear to me I want to go in the black market. I want to search for villages. I want to search for fun stuff in there. I guess I'm just going to start with that. And I might pair that with a silver. I might pair that with a sheepdog. If I draw them together, I can potentially, you can do stuff with sheepdog. You can get some cemetery trashes off early on, which is quite nice. Or you can buy things at the black market and draw immediately with the sheepdog. Problem is if you see sheepdog turn 3 and not black market, you're a little bit hesitant to play it. So I think I'm going to go black market silver, or I just bite the bullet and say if I draw the black market dead, then yeah, I couldn't possibly have 6 if I draw the black market dead. But I guess it's a smallish chance that I see sheepdog turn 3 and not black market, and then a smallish chance that I draw dead. So sheepdog just feels like it's the card that spins the fastest here. Okay. How good or bad is Sauna? Sauna seems acceptable in terms of just like a kind of weakish trasher. Villa doesn't seem that useful to me. I'll take the Sauna. I just hit 4 here. I could take I'm going to take a silver to pair with the Sauna. Or I could trash 2. Or I could get a Highway or a Mystic. I kind of got to get a silver to pair with the Sauna, but Highway seems so good in terms of cemetery trashing. I'm going to get a Highway. This is all very... The Sauna feels bad now when I reconsider cemetery. I know cemetery is trashing, but it's kind of restricted trashing in a certain way. I think you probably take Rays here. And again, you're not super sad on 2s. You just take native villages and grab my silver now. I do have a black market down there, which is a little bit sad. Hamlet, you can get like Hamlet native village. I don't really want to draw my guy dead, so I'll buy the native village now. So how good is Band of Misfits? Band of Misfits I can play as a lot of different things. Or you just get like Squire. But Band of Misfits seems good, but I feel like just like Squire or Sheepdog gets me along fairly quickly. Courtyard, I guess, with Courtyard with native village. Yeah, I regret the Sauna immediately. Like I could have just gotten another Sheepdog or a silver that turn or a native village. Although they've had pretty good pulse. You'd probably take Mountain Village here. I don't think you can convince me to take Royal Blacksmith currently, but it doesn't seem crazy later on. Courtyard is quite nice with native village because I can play the Courtyard and then top deck a card that I want to set aside with native village, which would usually be like a copper and estate, but maybe it's card I want to play next turn. One sort of plan with Native Village is you set aside every turn, every chance, and then once you've got like 5 or 6 things on there, then you pull them all off and get a big cemetery trashing like all your estates in copper or all your estates in Hanamir and get the ghost. Okay, the sauna is set aside, which is not too bad. I'm considering getting a young witch now. It just activates their sheepdog. So I get another sheepdog, I can get another native village. I guess I want to get one more native village and then circle back to the sheepdogs. Yes, this is nice. I can play highway, play native village, courtyard, potentially set something up if I draw one of the other native villages. They're in debt, and you cannot pay off debt in the black market turn. Okay, well, we'll top deck an estate here to optimize the chance that we get something cool on the black market. I mean, I'm just going to buy the crypt because that's JNails' favorite card. Got to do it. And then grab a native village and try to get like a big native village crypt thing going, where I set aside and then pick up once and set them all aside with the crypt. Crypt's just too good. It's not really that good, but I don't know. People seem to like it. So potentially here, there's not really that much good stuff for me to even draw. I could consider not playing this sheepdog, but I think I want to play the sheepdog and just buy another native village. Try to get the crypt dream going. Despite sort of what I don't know, it seems to be pretty clear that I'm quite a bit behind in this kingdom. They've got a lot of stuff set aside in the native village. They've got this raise. I have this crappy sauna and silver that I'm never going to be able to collide. The highway's not doing much right now, and I have yet to get plus buy, although maybe I could pick up a trade route at some point. And they're having this fairly nice turn here. Assuming they don't accidentally trigger a really bad shuffle with real blacksmith. Did they pick up this turn? Yeah, they did pick up this turn. Okay. So maybe I'll play this sheepdog and buy another sheepdog. I've got a couple of villages now, and hopefully I can get village black market, and then gain a card and then play a couple sheepdogs. And this just doesn't seem that inspiring this turn. So they discarded 5 things. All right. Yep, so that was the plan. Buy a sheepdog. Here I'll just set aside again, try to build up keep building up the mat. Yeah, I mean, like, certainly the raise I would have bought over the sauna if I had access to it. Okay, set aside an estate, and I will buy another native village. I'll set aside with this first native village and then see what's in there before I decide if I want to pick up or not. I guess I have the silver and the sauna now, so I will pick up. Ooh. I don't know that I really want any of those cards. I guess I can take the messenger. I think I'm killing this. Yeah. Ooh, I can distribute a card. Oh man, I'm not so sure I wanted to do that. I am not so sure I wanted to do that. Okay, I'm possibly going to be activating a bunch of their sheepdogs here. So my crypt is bottom decked, and I'm not super happy about that. I'm going to take a ghost now. This is a decent start, at least. I can get a couple of cards in hand for this crypt. I'm pretty surprised I did not react their sheepdog there. I fully expected that to be in their top of their deck. Yeah, these are still somewhat awkward, slower decks compared to the previous kingdoms. Kind of the dream we had of dominating has not come to fruition yet. We'll be setting a bunch of stuff aside with courtyards, with crypt now and native village. We can do some kind of thinning, maybe get another cemetery trash at some point. They've trashed 3 estates. I've trashed 2 estates in 100 year. Workshop? Well, if we still had native villages around, Workshop might be pretty good. But we don't have plus buy and all the cards we want to get. Like, I guess if you buy a highway. Alright, I guess we draw first and see what we hit. So, what am I going to do? What am I going to set aside? I'm going to set aside a messenger. Set aside the crypt, kind of sadly. And I'm going to keep my discard. I've got the ghost in there. And now I'm going to buy a highway, I think. Lowering the prices of things, especially in the black market, and then potentially pick up a trade route here coming up. This turn, potentially, I can set aside 3 or 4 cards with my... Yeah, so I can pick up and set aside. That just doesn't seem inspiring to me. So now I get the weird trade route for the plus buy with the highway. And I double play a black market. Interesting. With no sheepdogs in play. So yeah, it looks like we both have 5. Oh no. It should be 6-4 then. One of those was a messenger play. So I do have 4 more native villages. So I'll probably just play this native village to set aside, play the messenger, buy another highway. It looks like we're going to be moving towards a pile ending here. With the engineer is nice, but hopefully with the couple of highways I've got, I'll be able to... is Nobles worth it? Is Remake worth it? None of those seem worth it right now, sadly. I would like Remake, but I think I'm past the point in the game where I can make good use of that. Is the plus buy worth it? I guess it is. Play the Ducat, trashing a copper. And then I'll have 8 money and 2 buys. I'm going to buy a highway and a sheepdog. Oh, I'm going to have 5 money. Keep. Buy a highway. Okay, we'll set aside at least one of these and then play the sheepdog and figure out what we want to do. We're getting close to wanting to pick that up. I think I'm going to set aside once more. That's not the most inspiring set of cards. We'll trade route this cemetery. And I will buy a Sheepdog. I feel like lowering here is probably fine. They don't have a ton of buys. This looks like it's going to be the turn. I'm going to be able to pick up the crypt and do lots of cool stuff. They found the attacks. A lot of attacks. Margrave is probably the best of those. The Knight can be somewhat annoying, but at this point of the game, I have all these $2 cards, and like I have Sheepdogs that are not that good. Like Old Witch gives a curse, but they're going to play it, what, 2 or 3 times before the game is over? Yeah, I wish I had found, I don't know as many Sheepdogs as they had. I wish I had found some of my Sheepdogs in the Ghosted Black Market hands. I'll be actually quite sad. Oh, both Old Witch actually activates Sheepdogs, so it's probably not good. If they have the blacksmith here, they may actually be able to draw that. Wow, are they really thin all their coppers? Or they just throw coppers in the discard too? They can play native villages and pick up and discard attack me. And I will probably keep Highway, Native Village, Courtyard. I draw the card first with Margrave, I believe. So I could potentially see another native village, and that might change my mind. Okay. Oh, they're able to draw with Sheepdog. Nice. So this game can end on piles. They have got 3 gains with Engineers, a bye with Hamlet. So we've got 4 gains potentially. I do have technically a 3-point VP lead, which is not nothing at this point. This stuff's going to be really cheap for me. None of those seem like they're at all useful. I don't know. Courtier might be useful. They don't have any more money. Oh, they had the 1 copper they drew. I guess I didn't think about this before. Black Market playing the coppers and then Royal Blacksmith is a bit of a combo. Yes, they can play the Courtier and gain something or other. And they'll be able to play the Margrave here at the end of this turn. Yeah, they've been able to play the Rays, I think, more, and I never really got anything going with my Sauna Silver, so my trashing has been pretty weak. Okay, slightly sadly discarding all of those. So yeah, they've got 3, 4 buys. They've got a lot of buys now. I maybe need to add some greens to my deck. I'll put the Highway first, put the Highway second. I guess we pick up now. There's too much good stuff down here. Okay. All right, so do I want to play this Black Market this turn? I probably want to buy a province this turn. I don't know. I'm going to have 3 buys this turn. I'm going to set aside basically all of these treasures. I guess I'm just going to set aside here. I do have a ghost down there. So I'm going to keep, I think. No, I've got the 2 Sheepdogs down there as well, so I think I'm going to discard somewhat sadly. Wow, stuff costs 0. That's pretty nice. So I can go like province, double Sheepdog, set aside all the treasures. and try to win on some kind of highway thing, or I could buy multiple highways. I could go like province and 2 highways. If they attack me, I discard the messenger in the province. Hope the game goes on 2 more turns. I assume they will attack me. It's tough for them not to be drawing now. I mean, I guess I've got an 11-point VP lead. It's not insignificant. Not finding my ghost last turn hurts. If I could have ghosted one of these 3 actions, obviously I'd be in a much better place this turn. But I did finally get the crypt into play. Still got a lot of spectators, which is nice. Hopefully they're enjoying the action. It's been a long match. I really want to keep this native village because I probably want to play that black market. Not really sure. I think they can win over 2 turns potentially, although they can't lower that much this turn. If I draw like a sheepdog here, and I pick up my native village map, buy something from the black market, activate 2 or 3 sheepdogs, I potentially get a big hand, buy a lot of stuff. Doesn't look like Dominate's going to come into play here. Just trashing was slow. We're doing fancy stuff with black market, and it did take me quite a while to get my deck under control. I felt like JNails has been ahead most of this game. Some of that I think is that they got good cards in the black market, and some of it is I don't know. I didn't need to buy that sauna, but if I didn't buy the sauna that turn, I just would have bought like 1 sheepdog or 1 native village. I didn't have amazing other options. Rebuild is interesting with respect to. Oh, they got a border village in the highway. Rebuild is interesting. So they got a highway in the middle of the turn. That's pretty impressive. Rebuild is quite nice with respect to activating the sheepdogs. If you've got a bunch of those, they've got 5 sheepdogs. I could have at some point in this game actually drawn village black market sheepdog together. It never really happened. But the turn I ghosted my, well, let's take a look. The turn that they ghosted their black market, they were able to get a Margrave. The turn I ghosted my black market, I got nothing, I think. Let's see. Treasure Trove remake, Nobles, Fortune Teller, Ducat, Scavenger. Yeah. And maybe Nobles was not terrible, but it didn't really seem like it was particularly good. I assume JNails has copper and silver and 2 coppers still. I don't know if they're thinking about the relic or what. I think Border Village at the time, when you've got highways in play and can gain Border Village highway mid-turn, is also quite nice. Maybe they're thinking about a pile out. It just seems like piles are really low. And the relic is going to be annoying for me. I can't, like, I'm just going to set aside, play Ghost, and gives him a whole extra turn to pile out. I assume. They still have to pile out and get 11 VP, but that doesn't seem like incredibly difficult. They're going to have... Do they still have the Hamlet? Okay, so they took the Hamlet and they didn't play the Courtier for plus buy either, it looks like. Yeah, they just played it for action gold. So they potentially have 4 buys and then 2 games with Engineer. They have not played the Engineer yet. They could gain 2 cemeteries or something. I believe they still have a copper, a silver. The relic. Plaza and the Engineer. Something like that seems like it's their hand. Yeah, the sad part is I'm going to play the Highway, and it's not going to draw a card because the Relic attack. So it actually does matter here. If I had some Sheepdogs in hand, potentially it wouldn't. But I can take the Ducat and play the Highway, and then set aside a card with Native Village, play the Ghost. Hopefully it hits like a Sheepdog, gets me draw at the beginning of the turn. The Highway would get me +2 cards and +2 actions, which wouldn't be terrible either. Okay, they're getting money. Yeah, so this is not an inspiring turn. Like if I had a big turn here, I think I'd pile out. It's probably somewhat difficult for me to have a big turn here, but they're going to buy a Cemetery and trash Copper Silver just for the lulz. All right, so we got the Relic attack, so Highway does nothing. So take the Ducat, play the Highway, set aside, take the Coffer, buy nothing, play the Ghost. That top card was a Native Village. Okay, not terrible. So I can set aside, pick up. And we'll see where we go from there. Oh, and they start with 4 money, which is cool, and plenty of actions. I'll let them think out their turn for a bit. Somewhat tough decision there. Kind of ended up clicking at random. I don't know. So we can go Native Village, set aside, set aside. This Native Village, set aside. The third one, pick up. I think I've got more Sheepdogs down there. I still think it's tough for them to pile here. They can get... They didn't... Okay, they took a buy. They can get a buy from Margaret, buy from Corday, buy from Hamlet. 2 gains from Engineer. 2 non-gainer gains. So they could gain trade routes or something, but that's neutral. So I think they're capped at 5 gains. Sorry, 6 gains because the default one. They can play the Relic again. I've got 4 cards in the map. I've got some Sheepdogs down there, which is quite nice. So the Talisman is game winning if they bought it. They didn't buy the Talisman? Is the Villa game winning? I thought for sure Talisman lets them pile out. Sheepdogs. Am I missing something? I am missing something. The Villa gives them an extra plus buy. The Engineers 2 gains. So the black market is gains, is what I missed. They've been finding gains in the black market. I don't know. I feel like my shuffles this game have been a little bit bad, but I mean, maybe, I don't know. Not as bad as the first game, certainly. But this is just an easy win now, right? They just gain 2 things and buy 5 cemeteries and win. Why didn't they trash the Engineer? Why didn't they? Oh, okay. They were in the middle of a game and play chain. Oh, every black market play for them seems to be giving them a plus buy card. Okay, well, we tied the match. I'm not super happy the way this one played out. I feel like with decent draws near the end, I could have pressed my move, gotten a bunch more VP. So we end up with a tie, which is pretty good in this division, but certainly I was angling for more. So we tie 3-3, and I've got 4 more matches to go. So I'll see you all then.